Hi everyone, my name is Filippo Cinotti. I'm a cinematographer and a colorist from Italy, and today I want to talk to you why I love that much Look Designer and Grainlab and why I'm using those plugins that much in my color grading pipeline inside DaVinci Resolve. With no further, let's jump inside DaVinci Resolve. So guys, there we are inside DaVinci Resolve. Today we're gonna work at some clips from a project we are shooting from Fred Perry. I just took few clips from the official timeline, different camera angles, different shot from different cameras, even a DJI inspired to drone footage. And before talking about the software itself, I just want to talk about how I managed my note tree and I manage the project itself. So if you don't have like 10,000 cuts inside your project, you will love to work in scene referred, and it's crucial to work in this way like I'm doing right now because it will give you tons of control inside the algorithmic color space. So I'm just starting my project with an ADT, so I'm starting by converting my Canon log image into an ARRI log C, and explain you why I'm doing this and why we're working inside our ARRI log C color space. So in that way, I'm ARRI log C. I have primaries and dodge and burning options right now that I can or cannot do if needed. Then we got our Showlot corrector, and into this Showlot, basically what I'm doing, I'm preserving the log C color space and I'm applying a negative inside it. And then on our timeline, based on all our clips, I got an ODT and Grainlab. And actually Grainlab is applying grain to my image. I'm gonna talk about that in the end. And my ODT is just transforming my ARRI log C into Rec 709. So into this ODT, I'm actually giving printing option, and in this case, I choose the Catavision Color Print 2383, a really common one, and the contrast option stands on the 2383. You might ask, why am I doing those three steps? So it's really simple. Let's start saying that Look Designer is made like a film processing used to be, and you might say how it used to be. So normally you will shot on a negative, and the negative itself should stay untouched. So it was inside the camera, and you will pick that and put it into printing machine. Then into printing machine, there will be a scanner. And the scanner itself, it's simulated with our ODT right there, with our printing options. And this thing right here gives that final touch to the look, and it condenses the color space, it make it crunchier, it make cooler to RC, and it finalized everything in the same way, and it's crucial to maintain those steps. And again, you might ask, why are we working into ARRI log C? Because it is exactly identical to how film used to be. It preserves our mid-grays, it preserves our skin tones as natural as these are supposed to be, and it is actually the best color space when we are coming into emulating films. A crucial thing to say is that most of the people think that the look itself is here into the negative option. I'm saying this even because we got plugins like Film Convert that only have this negative option thing, and that's not actually how film would work or a film processing would work. You need printing option, and you need that incredible thing that we got here that is called subtractive color. I'm gonna talk about that too. So after having choose your negative and having put this here, in this case the Kodak 5219 Vision 3 500T, we will go inside our ODT, so inside our printing option, and we will select our contrast and our print stock. So the contrast option again are in fact based on printing decisions. So you should have an S2 that actually S-curve or what a Rec 709 normally will do. All these F are different films, and then we got Fuji and Kodak emulation, and then we got film stocks themselves. So we got the most famous one, the 2383, the most common used. Then we got the one designed by Peter Doyle for The Lord of the Rings, and that's a really cool thing to know. And then we got our post-processing that actually is, the final touch to our post-processing pipeline, taking everything that we are doing with FPE, that actually stands for Film Print Emulation. And with that, without crashing, saturation, without breaking everything, we can choose the intensity of that post-processing. So the intensity of that printing without breaking anything. We will also have NRR, that stands for the three names from the engineers that work with Vittorio Storaro for the creation of this process, that it's actually the original bleach bypass process. And also we got a really new thing, or better, a new thing in the way of working inside a pipeline, that actually is the subtractive color, and that's a really innovative and great thing to have. To work with subtractive color, it's crucial to understand how it works in real life. So normally a beam of light would have touched our film, and it would have processed our three layers of colors, cyan, magenta, and yellow, in the same exact way. But actually we can make few differentiation one from the other. We can create our custom develop of our film emulation, and we can create with this subtractive color unique representation of the film, of the negative that we decide to work with. And the cool thing about that is that we are actually working with real film scans, and we're actually using the subtractive methodology and just customizing real film emulation. And that's a really cool thing that nobody got inside their software. It's crucial to say that if we want to work into this way, we want to have our three layers in the same way. To make it affect our image, we have to push or pull one or the other in a way or another, just to create our custom look. And then we can just push or pull our correction, or better, our look, in one way or another, working like an offset, Then also, it doesn't, over here, we also got temperature. It's not kind of the way you're thinking. So normally, this is not like tweaking the temperature right there. This is about thinking a temperature as the lamp itself that it's developing the film. So normally a lamp that were developed film will have been like D60, not a D65. So we would love, in terms of looks, to change it in a colder or warmer way, depending on how we want to affect the subtractive color and the negative itself, if we want. So this is another option that other software doesn't give us. And if you want on your Showlot, if you want to tweak few things, customizing that negative, you also have lift, gamma, and gain right there without touching the one that DaVinci gives you. We also have the Gamut Limit if your image will have, gamut issues on your colors, and you can just set your limit right there and just be accurate for your scopes and being accurate for your colors. So in this way, actually, we are converting our image, keeping our main correction for the image for primaries and dodge and burning. With our Showlot, we are choosing the negative and just giving that touch that we are choosing. And then with the ODT, we are actually giving that print, that look, that finalization into our project that will stay for all our clips. So as you can see, into this way, I have a really simple pipeline where I'm creating the look on my Showlot and I'm giving that final touch in the ODT. And I'm preserving everything that I'm doing into my timeline on the ODT, and what I have to change right here is just maybe a few tweaks on my primaries. I can make some dodge and burning if needed, if I want to make it. And that's it. Really simple and really powerful. And why I'm saying that, it's because you have your look inside that choose of the negative and of the printing, obviously. So by combining those things all together, you are creating a really stunning look that it's really working like film into an analog color space. But it's not over there. Sometimes some of you might say, okay, working with films might be cool, but what if I don't want to work with films and I just want to have like a classic touch to my image without having those Kodak-like blues or yellows or reds? That's really simple. Look Designer got a thing also for this. So on the negative option, we got a few options that are major and minor, two options that are major and minor. First time I saw those, I was like, what the hell are those? What are supposed to be? That's really simple. Everything, it's based on color harmony and how color really affect and how define ourselves into an happy or more serious or depressing way, and it's all related on music. So we want to go there on negative stock, and it got major and minor. One thing that you gotta know is that major chords in music are like related to real chords. So if we just want to go into minor and just decide one of those chords, you will see that everything will become really, really cold and really kind of serious and into a mood actually that it's not happy at all. But if we tweak this into major, as you can see, all those chords are pretty okay, happy and working well. Actually, I think that this clip, it's a bit of balance, just a touch here. And as you can see, by tweaking those major right here, we are just giving to our image warmer tones and happier tones, and everything is more poppy, everything is working in a better way. So not just film stocks, but we also have those negative that are working in a saturated and I might say in a happier way, that are not actually related to Kodak or Fuji or whatever film stock you will normally use. As a final touch, I will go on the timeline, and on Grainlab I will apply my custom grain. In this case, I just applied on 709 output transformation a Kodak 8mm because I want to have a really strong grain on my image. And you can also tweak that 4K if your image is in 4K and you want to upscale that grain and adapt it to your image. You also have the intensity of the spark, the body and the base, and that's a really great thing. And it's really simple as it seems, but super powerful in my opinion, and it's one of the best grain elaboration software that I saw so far, and I'm really happy about it. And so as you can see, it's really simple to work on a really condensed node tree inside DaVinci Resolve with Look Designer. You don't need too many things, too many nodes. As said, if you just need to make a window, if you just need to tweak something around, just create your dodge and burning, your primaries, and with this you can mess around with your parallels, with your correctors, but everything stands on my Showlot and on my ADT. So the big work on the look, it's made there. I also make the Showlot as a shared node to, change everything in the same way on all my clips. As you can see, you don't need too much when you have a plugin that is working like film. Even because normally you want to be as natural as possible and as, closer as possible to what the production and the DP choose for the color of your movie. And when you're going to create a look from zero without using a plugin, you're actually going into a direction or another in terms of color. And by using this plugin, you can do the exact same thing inside it with that extra thing that is using negatives that actually comes from films. And, working on the actual film itself with subtractive color methods, that it's really powerful and really cool, creating a stunning grade and above all unique grades that a LUT can give to you or a preset can give to you. So I'm really in love with Look Designer. Take a look to it, and I will really appreciate if you would like to leave a feedback in the comment section.